guys, so today I thought I would discuss the really lighthearted topic of, is not wanting to fuck a trans person transphobic?
No, it's not. End of video.
Essentially, this whole thing came up because some lovely cis lesbians were tweeting on and on the internet.com about how they'll never have sex with a trans person. Which, firstly, cool? Like, nobody asked. Nobody was out there tweeting them being like, yo, FYI, you gotta fuck a trans person.
That's funny because I'm pretty sure your boyfriend was.
Would you date a trans person, honestly? Think about it for a second. Okay, got your answer? Well, if you said no, I'm sorry, but that's pretty discriminatory.
A lot of cis people, largely monosexual cis people, are super guilty of this.
So basically everyone except bisexual people are so-called guilty?
Discussion then kindly led into why they wouldn't have sex with a black girl either, which,
This argument is just super rapey. Can you imagine if this was gender motivated?
You gotta have sex with me because I'm a man.
But I don't want to because I'm into women and men don't fit my preference.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's pretty discriminatory.
many of these reasons simmer down to preferences. And I want to say right now, you can 100% have preferences, but I find that the preferences argument in a lot of these situations tends to be a really weak as shit excuse for being, oh god, how do I say this, super transphobic.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes, got nowhere to run, the night goes on.
Preferences are things that you prefer. If my preference was big boobs, it doesn't mean that I would completely cancel out dating someone with small boobs. If my preference was someone with freckles, or a big nose, or small eyes, it doesn't mean I would cancel out somebody because they don't have those things.
You're being purposefully misleading. All those things you just mentioned are small features on a person and can easily be overlooked. Race and gender as a whole are huge to people, and rightfully so.
People prefer redheads but date brunettes, or prefer to date someone who's a CEO or comedian or magician but will date people who aren't those things. But when it comes to trans people, there's often a very hard line. And this line isn't normally drawn just at genitalia or gender expression, it's drawn at trans people.
You know, you're really not doing trans people a favor by putting them in this victim mindset. They are allowed to not want to date cis people, as cis people are allowed to not want to date trans people. Why is that so crazy?
Let's imagine if you said that you would never date a black person, or a disabled person, or a bisexual person. I'm not saying that you can't have preferences. You can prefer to date someone who looks or acts or is a certain way. Completely ruling someone out because of their race, or their gender identity, or their sexuality is a little bit messed up.
I don't think it's messed up at all. In fact, as I said before, think of it the other way around. Is it okay for a black person to not want to date a white person? You would probably say that's totally fine. But the second it's a white person not wanting to date a black person, that's racist.
These are just people's personal preferences. So, friends, are we going to chalk this one up to a crazy coincidence? Or are we going to start analysing why we prefer certain races or people who are cis or able-bodied?
Why does it matter if you analyze what you like? It won't change anything about how you think.
There are lesbians who are being sexually abused by men in the past, and so a penis is very triggering and it's just something that they never want to revisit again, and that's fine. There are people who don't want to date white people because they've experienced abuse at the hands of a white person, and that's completely valid as well. There are reasons for drawing a hard line on not dating a certain group of people, but the majority of the time people saying that they don't want to date a trans person aren't dealing with those reasons. They just don't want to fuck a trans person.
So only people with a bad experience have the right to decline a trans person from sex? That's pretty messed up.
Because, spoiler, literally anybody can become disabled at literally any point in their lives. If you say that you wouldn't date a disabled person and that you would dump someone you're in love with if they became disabled, then you're just a horrible person. Yes, disability comes with a whole lot of difficulties, but if you're saying that if the love of your life was hit by a bus and could no longer walk, and that's why you're no longer into them, then honestly, they deserve a whole lot better.
Okay, this is the one thing I can get behind. But I think it's different when you're finding someone who's already disabled. A lot of people do not have the patience or effort to deal with a disabled person.
And here is the insane amount of disclaimer that I know most of the response videos will cut out.
Try me, bitch.
You don't have to date a trans person, or a black person, or a disabled person, or an Asian person, or a white person, or literally any kind of person. Before my current relationship, I'd never been with a trans person, and that's because, truthfully, I just didn't know that many, and the ones that I did know, I just wasn't into. If you've never found a trans person, or a person of color, or a disabled person attractive, then that's fine. I am not saying that you have to be attracted to them, or date them, or anything like that.
No, you're not going to tell us. You're just going to guilt us and make us feel obligated to.
All I'm asking is that you don't completely rule out anybody who isn't cis, white, or able-bodied.
I wonder if that goes both ways.
Have your preferences and be attracted to whoever you're attracted to, but just try to acknowledge that if you're going to completely rule out dating someone just because they're trans, then that's a little bit transphobic.
Uh-oh, retard alert! Retard alert, class!
And if you have strong racial preferences, please try to analyze why you're attracted to a certain race or why you avoid another. Because your reasons for that could be based in racism, even if you don't mean to be, even if you're not trying to be.
Lois, I bet I can drink more bleach than you.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching my video and thank you for listening to my thoughts. I know that I've talked about this a lot on Twitter and also talked to some of you guys in DMs about it, and a lot of you wanted me to discuss it in video format, so that's what I've done. Feel free to give this video a like because I need your validation, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!
Okay, so, final thoughts. You can date and bang whoever the hell you want without being labeled a bigot. Do not let people guilt you into that. My conclusion is Riley Dennis and his girlfriend are equally as dumb.